Hey everybody, this is Alzorath, and welcome to First Strike, where we shoot first and ask questions later. Today we're taking a look at Shapes.io. This is a game that's gotten like mixed attraction lately. It's a puzzle game, sort of, but it's also just like a chill game. It's like Factorio without the beasts. I'm going to go ahead and click New Game here. You can see that I have a level 13 character that I did, well, yesterday, technically. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on into a new game so we can actually start from scratch and show off the beginning, middle, kind of, and not necessarily end. I don't know what the end is. I haven't gotten that far. So, new game. This is the first strike. So anyway, we start in. We end up with a random map. You can actually zoom out. You can see that there's all these little markers with like little shapes in them. Basically, the point of this game is you've got to gather pieces, and you've got to, and it's going to tutorial over here, but we've got to gather pieces and get them into our little hub thing here. We only have a certain number of slots to bring stuff in. I don't know if this grows up. I think it might get bigger later on as you start getting more stuff coming in, but the goal is to just pretty much build up your entire like network of stuff, and I cannot do that very well. For some reason, I am terrible at staying within the lines. You'd think I would have learned how to color by now, considering my age. But no, this is just a chill puzzle game. Right now, we are building up a nice little bit of squares. It wants actually circles. I derped. So let's go ahead and get some of those going. Generally speaking, it'll give you a shape on here. This will be what you need to actually upgrade. And then, you, of course, I have to pay attention to what it wants from me. But this is what it's going to want to upgrade your current level, like level 2, level 5, whatever, and each shape changes each time. You also end up with a kind of repository of shapes, as well as different shapes needed to upgrade different aspects of your massive network that can get quite literally insanely large. And I don't know how big the map is because I still haven't reached the end of it. Just after like scrolling, I'm kind of afraid to lose my hub. But it does have the little arrow there that tells you kind of where it is. And you can make your own markers to find different things. So if you end up going really far out, you can actually press space to kind of cycle through them, as well as, I don't know whether that cycles through them or whether that just goes to your hub, period. But you actually have the whole list over here that you can just click on, and it'll take you to that point. You can see we just unlocked the cutter. The cutter cuts the shapes in half, top to bottom, regardless of the orientation. Be sure to get rid of the waste, or otherwise it will stall. Yes, you can actually clog up things by not having a way to dispose of them. That's why it gives us the trash can. There are various other things. There is a load stabilizer thing. It wants the half of these. I'm going to go ahead and just cut these in half and just feed them both in. We're not going optimal here. I'll end up deleting everything around the main base anyway, so it's kind of like, meh, it's fine. And this one will do much the same thing. We'll just go up and to the right instead and get ourselves another cutter. Very much a chill thing. And I actually need that up one more so I can do this properly. Yonk, there we go. I always forget that this has it does have a specific orientation. You can actually rotate it, but it has a specific orientation as far as you can see that the input is always going to be on that side of the cutter. I wish there was a flipped cutter, but that might be something that you get way, way later that I haven't encountered. So, yeah. And eventually, you may notice that we do have these colored spots, like green, red. There is blue around here somewhere. There's a blue over there on the left, and a little bit over here on the right. You do eventually start painting the colors, and you have to layer them on top of each other. It's kind of interesting. This is just basically the introduction of the game, and as you see, this is going to unlock another one. I wanted to actually unlock something here before I jump into the other game that I've been playing. So now we actually get the multifunctional balancer. This can also be used to kind of merge two rows into one. You can see it being done right there. It basically is taking both of these and shoving them onto this left belt, whereas this one is taking this and splitting it between two belts. So it's really useful for that. You do get a smaller one eventually. Like if we wanted to merge these into one row so we're not taking up as much space on our base, you can see that that's going to start pumping them both in there. You're going to have little alternating ones, and this will save you slots on your home base. On my main save file, I've done it absolutely horribly, which we're going to go ahead and return to menu. I'm going to jump into this one, and we're going to start looking at different kind of things that you can do. You can see this one has gotten relatively large, and this is all just for one shape here, so you can see the one path coming back, and it's producing a decent amount. I don't have the little conveyor fully saturated. And yes, you can actually end up saturating a conveyor. You can see that happening right there. Things have clogged up back here, but these are just junk extra shapes that I'm not actually using for anything. We do need some of these that are coming off of there and some of these, but we'll get them eventually. I don't have a super high production of these little blue stars right now. I'll probably be making them later. But what happens is you can see them zipping by. They start generating different shapes and stuff like that you have to cut, you have to glue together. We have gluing together units here. You can see that we have the bottom blue star and the top green that comes through here and just starts shoving it in there. The music is really chill. I'll probably have it turned down for copyright reasons. But this is the last upgrade that I got on this one, which was the connector thing that combines different things. And we also have some down here combining the blues and the whites together, and you can see that they are just doing their whole thing there. I'm kind of surprised the blues are actually slower. I can correct that in just a little bit. But since I noticed that the blues are coming in slower, they are actually beating out the whites. You can see the whites are actually churning down faster than they're generating. So that's not going to be a problem for long. But I did actually make spares of these. If we wanted to actually combine them so we'd actually have two feeding into one, we'd go like that. And then we could actually do a balancer across all of them and have them all just kind of going, let's see if I can do, and you just hold down shift to do multiples of these. So we have a balancer going there, and we can actually run a couple balancers there, and there, which will let us kind of like spread the stress of the system out. And then we can kind of come in here and just do that number. There we go. Yeah, getting it over to there is going to prove to be a little bit of a pain in the ass. I probably should have put those balancers somewhere else because we're not going to have enough room to actually balance it before that little like strip there. And this will actually show me deleting. Yes, you can delete items, but as soon as you delete these, you have to replace the belts. So be prepared for that if you are actually deleting anything. So yummy. There you go. And that's already saturating those bottom ones. So that's going to be there. We're going to need balancers there. Oh, wait, not there. That's the wrong spot, Alzorath. You've got to be thinking about this stuff. You want there. And the reason I'm doing it this way is so that we can actually balance it across all of them. It's not necessarily the most optimal strategy to do this. This just ends up feeding everything into, well, those. And then we can also do some more balancers a little further back. And if you do multiple balancer chains, you can actually spread them out a little bit more. You'll see that this is going to spread them a little bit further along. And I have multiple balancer chains on my main little path up there. You can see with 3 of them, we're actually getting a fairly heavy push across all of them. So this is cleared out, and now it's just shoving in there and starting to clog up these with those. And you can see these are significantly just chained together. But yeah, you can see I'm producing a lot of this white dye by combining red, green, and blue, because it does follow the light the light rules rather than pigment. So, and if we wanted to, we could actually throw some balancers across these, but it's not going to matter that much, because, yeah. And if you do a V-shaped one, it'll actually balance both directions. Whereas this one, I'm just worried about it going out that way, so I just want the little slanted ones. So, I shouldn't be talking strategy here. I've been kind of fiddling around in this whenever I couldn't actually record for a while, so I've played a bit more than I probably should have. And you can see, since we're bringing in so much from the top here, I have a lot of the ones that chain down that way rather than just the V shapes. You do see that there is some back here that does go retrograde as well, though, because I had a clog on this one as well. I've just been too lazy to fix it. So that's what that one looks like. It's just going to keep churning those in forever. Another nice thing is that you can actually look at how many you have stored, which you can see we actually have a whole bunch of those stored. We don't have a whole bunch of the gray cube parts stored. That's because I haven't really been chopping them up as much. I haven't seen them on the requirements for like gathering things. So for upgrading things, sorry. So we're just kind of chilling with these, and you can see how many we produce per hour versus how many are delivered. Produced per minute versus how many are delivered per minute. You can see that we do actually have a kind of choke on these, so it is what it is. 546. Actually, no, not too much of a choke on the blues. But we do have chokes on some points. Especially, well, the circles, because we want them to actually be choked here. That way we always have something for the purples to go onto. And you can see we actually have to combine blue and red there to get those. You get these chopped up, so because these blue ones were actually a requirement for an upgrade to our base before. And right now I should be actually making the purple and white. So let's go ahead and set up a system to do that. That'll be our little goal here today. We want, what shape do we want? Purple squares with white circles. So we do have more white circles produced, but we don't have an excess of them. I could, if I wanted to, expand this one right here to produce more white circles, or I can just farm off of this, like pull off of this right chain right here, because it looks like that's the one that's going to have the best kind of production going on it. So, do we want to pull off this chain, or do we want to start a new one? I think we want to start a new one. I just need to find a spot with red, blue, and green, which right there is a good spot. And now we can actually come in here, and we have two different types of extractors. I don't see the point in just normal extractor. These can be chained to produce more. So, generally speaking, I'm just going to do... Oh, I need to actually, grab 3 of them. And I'm just going to set it up so I have 3 pulling in one direction so that they are... I don't know whether that's maxed out, but that's so they can just keep pulling as fast as possible. And I don't know if that's maxed or not, but these will come in, and we have kind of the start of our nice little red source. And we have how many things? 6? So we need 6 green, which is going to be that way. So 1, 2, 3. And yeah, we'll just do 6 of these kind of building up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's good. So we'll just set those up, and we'll be pulling them into our mixers. And then we'll need 6 blues. I'm going to actually rotate these to face down. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we can do almost saturated down there. That will be fine. And I'm not going to worry about that. And yes, I'm going to show you guys going over an already existing thing, because I don't really have an opportunity to show that elsewhere, because I do run over various bits of supplies, if you will, left and right. So you can actually see that. Where are we doing that? We are doing it right there, but it's not as obvious. Let's go with... Well, I don't have a good example. Well, darn. Okay. But anyway, you can actually run over them and it doesn't matter. So this is going to be our next source of white. We also need some purple squares. So I'm going to go ahead and pull purple off of this group as well. And generally speaking, as I'm getting further into this, I'm finding it easier to do basically... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. We probably should actually have more purple coming off of this. But I'm finding it easier to kind of just find a spot that looks good for a particular type of production, and then going through and kind of just developing the system for it there, and then importing it, because this one was so much easier to build than all of this convoluted garbage up here, because we actually have several levels of production here. We actually have the big green circles, which were one of the requirements, and then we started splitting them off into the top halves, and well, we split them off into the halves, and then we rotated them. You can see we rotated one clockwise, one counterclockwise to get just a whole bunch of green tops, and they were coming down here to merge with these. We don't have the green circles being produced anymore because I don't really have a need for them. And then we have the blue ones feeding in here. We are still getting these just because I was like, oh, maybe I should actually keep some of my old stuff. Purple circles were a requirement. And actually, I don't think green circles. I think it was purple circles that were the requirement. So I don't even know why I have that. But it is there because we do need it for this particular manufacture. But getting convoluted builds is something that's pretty easy to end up with whenever you're just messing around with your base. So extending to the top right is going to be a royal freaking nightmare in the future. So yeah, I need to be a little bit careful about that. Back to assembly. Let's go in here. We're going to go and we're going to get blue off of these. So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see how many reds did we end up with for coming off of this, because we have all those facing that direction. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for purple. So we need 7 over here for purple. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll do 3 off this side. Yeah, there's your 5 and your 7. So that'll actually work out fine. So what we need to do is we need to branch these off. So what I'm going to do is we have plenty of pull on these, is I'm going to actually start making like a spot for white here and a spot for purple probably next to it. And we're going to start bringing in the shapes for this, which are going to be a square and a circle, which are going to be kind of hard to get over here. We have a square there. I don't see any circles. All these circles make a square. All these squares make a circle. Crap. Yeah, the normal shapes are not present, so I guess I'll have to... Oh, we could actually shift it over to here. And that'll give us plenty of room in this area to actually make more white. Because we need to make more white circles anyway. And we could actually combine it with this track to keep the blues from getting as clogged up. And it'll give us more of these. These are actually supposedly important for blueprints. So you use those to like copy an entire big section and turn it into a proper blueprint. Like if I wanted to copy my actual color manufacturing here, I could do that. In fact, I might. Although it is oriented wrong. Let's see. Control. Let's go with that. Yeah, that'll cover all of those. And how much to make a blueprint? See? Cost is $1,700 to place this. And can I rotate it? Yes. Yes, I can. So if I wanted to make the white here, I could just drop that. And now we have white manufacturing. But we have way too many slots for it, unfortunately. And let's see, what order did we actually do those in? So I had red and green going into that and then blue into the side. It doesn't really matter too much as long as they're all going in there. But what's going on here, by the way, is these are feeding into this slot because these are going under into there. And then these are feeding into that slot, which pops out a color. And then you have the third color coming in here to combine to make white. So we need to have all of one color going into these little side things and into that. And then we need to have all of another color going into those. So let's go ahead and start making our white. So you, and yeah, we are going to use, I think we're going to use the downward oriented ones. No, we'll use the ones we originally planned. So you guys are going to come out here and we'll just go boop, 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 boop. And this one's actually going to be really hard to do that with. No, we're going to go into the main line. I'm trying to do this on the fly. I wasn't actually planning to do much in the way of like proper building on this. So we're doing that now. And we'll go into there. That's one. And it doesn't matter which side I put these into. It'll actually work just fine. Either way, we do need to remember to actually have gaps in some of this. Okay, so you need to go there, I think? Oh, no, we need to actually feed this into the other side. So this needs to branch off a little bit because we're going to actually have to go under these to get in there. So I don't want to make them too wide because that's going to suck. So let's go that way. There we go. That way we actually have some room to kind of mess around with. Actually going under. We generally want to keep 2 spaces between any large gaps of things. So this is going to come down here and we're going to start connecting to these. We're actually, we are connecting all to the right side. So I need to go with that and bring you down here. There's 1. There's 2. Hey, stop swirling, you bastards. Get in that there. Get rid of that. And we can just go ahead and go in. Yeah, we're feeding all into that one side. I've probably overcomplicated this insanely, so it's fine. So get rid of that. And someone's going to be like, well, here's a more optimal... I don't care. I don't care if you have a more optimal build of it. So we are going to be producing 6 off of this, so we don't need this bottom rung. So I can go ahead and delete that. There we go. Now we need to start bringing in green, which is going to go into that, and that slot. Not that it matters too much, but that's what we're going to be going with here. So you start coming down, and you're actually going to be going across. Let's see. And yes, production is free unless you are copying. So that's going to go there. And no, you can't just drop things off the end of one line onto another. So let's go ahead and go there. That's going to be to that spot. And this is just kind of like how I build things. It's not too bad. And we need to be kind of aware of our positioning here. And one easy thing to do is actually use WASD to do your left and right. I overshot there. But for long stretches, it helps me keep it straight. So we have 3 between each one, so there. And there. Right there? Yeah. And then we can have the last one come down and straight into this one. So we're just going to cut under to each of these. I don't even need these cuts. So that's going to be a pain in the butt. So let's see. I probably shouldn't have even copied this, honestly. I don't need those little underoos thing. Although you could actually use that to keep this path clear. Like if we wanted to guarantee that this path right here had a nice gap in it, which is not a bad idea, because then you can actually have, say, throughput of our purple units. You can actually come in here and you can actually delete these and do a whole... Let's see, where is it? There it is. This to this, this to this, this to this, and yeah, it'll actually just transfer under anything that you have there, and you could just focus in on making your paths like that later on. You don't get these little under things until later, and I find that kind of mildly frustrating. So yeah. Oh, and you actually need one connected there. Thankfully, you can actually connect after the fact. One thing to keep in mind that I make the mistake of a lot is that blue is the entrance, green is the exit. So yeah, you got to remember that. So this to there, and there is a reason why I'm not doing all the way through. You can see that it disconnects after a certain distance. I think there is an improved one that does work. Over longer distances, but that's the next one that I get to unlock, and that's one reason why I need the purples and whites. So that to there. That was the wrong way. How did I bork that up? I borked that up something awful. Oh no, that's right. No, that's wrong. So that's going under, that's coming out. Yeah, I somehow borked that up. What? No, that's under. Oh, Hadur. Okay, yeah. That's how I borked it up. I forgot I had already cleared the other path. So that goes to there. And now we just have like this massive clear path in the middle of it if we ever need that for something, which I don't think we're going to end up sending the purples down through that, but it's something. Because we're going to have 6 lines of white going out. So let's go ahead and drop that, that, and that. And you'll see that we actually need to put more track here just to cover the gaps, which is fine. And one thing that I do like doing is basically connecting one and making sure it works right, and then just connect up the rest of them so I don't have to clean up a whole bunch of like fluff. So that is, yeah, we have one more of these to actually lay. So you come out like that. And if we ever needed a different color of square, we'd actually have it available right here. And that is awkward there. There we go. And then this can come right to there. Get ourselves the last little bridge under. And go like that. And now we have our first little connection there. And I do love the, like, it looks like a circuit board look here. It makes me happy. So we are not going to be hooking into this one. We may up this production eventually, but it'll be one of those things that's kind of like, it's cool. This is just very chill for me. So now we need to hook up the red. This is going to be a little bit more of a pain in the butt. So you guys are going to start coming down. And the reason I'm not condensing these is because I actually need full throughput on them. Otherwise, I would do a little like funnel effect right there, just because it would make more sense to me. So you get to go like that. Oh, nope, one higher. I didn't clear the blue. There you go. Nose itch. Let's go to the right here. So you are going to just completely ignore that. I don't think we need that shape for anything, do we? No, we need some reds and some yellows. This is how you upgrade, by the way. We actually need this shape right here to upgrade our belts, which would help out with the clogging and stuff like that. And we also need upgrades on these other ones. So you actually do need to pay attention to this, because not all the items you need will be items that you need to upgrade. I'm just happening to go after this one because it was the most obvious thing to go for. And we just need to go bleep. And then across. And I don't care if I'm super precise right there. I'm not going to be using that other one for anything. If I need any of the shapes involved in that one, I will go out either further, or I will go out to my base and just go around stuff and just be happy there. I may end up just scrapping my entire base and starting that over from scratch, because once you have a backlog of items, you're usually fine, it seems. I mean, yeah, they can up the requirement of some stuff. Like right there, we have 51k of the circles. Maybe the next upgrade is going to require 100k, in which case I would have to rebuild it, which can be a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's fine. So I don't know what enable belt planner is, but it is what it is. And that's a shift. Oh, okay. That's completely silly, but okay. I'm fine with that, because I can just do that with the actual belts, and there is no repercussions. There is no cost of placing these, which would be actually horrible if there was, if I'm going to be honest about that. So you may notice that our production of this is actually relatively slow, of white. That's because we have multiple stages to go through with it, and it does take time to color the items, mix the colors, do all that other stuff. And thankfully, since I have the blueprint, I don't have to do all this convoluted connecting in here. That was actually awkward to plan, and it was probably the wrong way to do it. But I have fun just kind of messing around in games like this. This is like Factorio without the enemies for me. I do like Factorio. I have played maybe 20 minutes of it, but I like it, and I like that kind of game. So, see, we now have our production of white going on, and now we need to make our production of purple. This is where a challenge comes in, because we've got to get blue out of here. Thankfully, we left this path, and we can go skipping through this as well. So now we have all of our white. Why is that white not connected? Oh, we have one too many rows, so you need to go away. I thought something was awkward about that spacing. This one's a dead one. So these all need to go down one. So thankfully, that's a relatively easy fix. You are in the right one. You are not. So you need to be there. So this is going to be a relatively easy fix, because that's going to go there. We're just going to chug the red through there. You're going to connect to that. You're going to connect to that. And you are going to connect to that. And now we have all of them producing. Yes. Okay. So all 6 of those are producing. They produce a little bit slower, so we can actually condense them down if we want to. Like you can... This one's not condensed down, but yeah, we can condense them down so that they're not having any issues there. And I think we probably want to do 2 to 1. So that'll give us 3 outputs of white. So we'll go ahead and condense those with those. So that's going to go... Let's go about there. 1, 2, 3. That gives us 6 inputs, and we'll have 3 outputs, which is going to be there, there, and there. And we'll condense those down eventually, because we're going to have to swerve to get over to these circle and squares over here. So that's going to be our white production. And let's go ahead and channel these in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, no. I like my lines straight. Those little, like, U-turn things are a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's more on, like, me having, like, a hypersensitive mouse than necessarily the game. Although it does flip as soon as you cross that line. See? So, you can see that's condensed down 3 to 1. I mean 2 to 1. So that's a pretty nice little flow down there. And these will start chugging through. And I want to keep these lines saturated. That way I always have the supplies coming in, because we're never going to really be able to saturate our production of the white things, at least not early on. So let's go ahead and get our blues and reds going. So we've got that path going out. Nope, fuck you. That path going out. We've got that one going out as well. I just completely borked that. Please fix. Thank you. So there's 3. How many blues do we actually have coming out? We've got 1, 2, 3. We got 7 for the purples. So we probably needed 7 for the white and less for the purple. Because that's going to be... We'll just do 6 on each of them. Can you stop? Thank you. Purple takes less time to produce because it has 1 less stage. So that's going to go there. And yeah, this actually will work out nicely for having 6 purple. So we'll just stick with 6 purple. We'll have some extra random little mines there. I don't really care too much. And we're going to go ahead and lay these out. 1. Can we actually reach that? No, of course not. I'm doing it this way because I like the aesthetic of the little gap there. You can actually feed them directly into each other. So, yeah, just laying these out, doing the 3s. And we should be fine. And you can see that everything has stalled up because, well, we don't really have anything going on here. That needs to be produced because nothing's being fed off or eaten by trash cans because we don't really worry about this part clogging. And there. Okay. So we need 3 on this side. So let's go ahead and get ourselves this going. Boop. Oh, I need to actually press shift to do that. 2, 3. And we'll just get rid of these because superfluous and dodging the blue was absolutely pointless. Yay. So we go there. And obviously you generally want to plan out your roads a little bit better than I am. Your conveyors a little bit better than I am. Otherwise, you will run into issues where you're not going to be able to get around them. Like, if I needed to come back across... Stop it, you fucker. If I wanted to come back across here, this spot would be intraversable. Because we only have the one little dip there. Unless later on they end up giving us something like a... compact one of these. Which they could. They did give us a compact combiner as well. So that's going to be those. And we actually now have... our 6 lines of blue. So we've got color mixers going on there. And this Tetris shape I find super useful for those color mixers turning into white. So that's going to be that. And we need to have our reds come. We need to have 6 reds. So we're going to have to feed those off of here. So that's going to go there. And I probably shouldn't be leading them around this way. I should be leading them down this way. Now that I'm looking at it. So if I wanted to delete a whole bunch of stuff, Control, Delete, Control, Delete. There we go. And now we can just start coming down this way. So we can just drop these down. That's going to be down to there. We can start feeding them towards where we need them. And this is where the WASD control becomes very, very useful because now I'm not having to actually do the fine tuning. I just hold the mouse still and I just go down while holding the button. And I do appreciate that they included that, because that makes life about 1,000,000 times easier. There's 4, and where's 5? It's going to be off the side of that one. And where's 6? Now, obviously, doing a 6 line like this, not really ideal, because doing a 6 line like this is going to end up with us not being able to skip over this. So if we ever need to come in through here, we're going to be kind of screwed. So, yeah, I do need to be a little bit careful. If we need to come in on this spot right here, we'll be screwed as well. But since the floor space is so massive, anything I would normally probably put in there, I'll just put out here in this big void. That seems like a bit of a better plan for me. So, yeah, that's my approach to why I actually seem to prefer building out here rather than building up close to the base. So there are advantages and disadvantages, but once you have something producing out here, you don't really have to worry about maintaining it or building around it. Because guess what? You can just find another spot to build and import. It's pretty straightforward. As I completely botched... There we go. Why are you doing that, you son of a bitch? There you go. Okay, so that's all moving in there. We have our blues. Let's go ahead and get our blues start moving to the right. I think we want to have a little bit of a gap there. So we can actually start getting these out. Groovy. And we'll just have a massive line coming up to probably in here. We'll probably combine into purple there. And then just have everything move as one big cable wire, well, big bus all the way down through here. And then we'll meet up with our purple and whites there. Seems like a good idea to me. Let's go ahead and I actually want to establish where these are going to be before I start building the curves down there. So that's going to be our 3. We could have actually pulled from the red right there as well. I just wanted to be complicated, because that's how I do. So that's going to be those. Let's go ahead and loop. And I probably should have actually pulled from those now that I think about it, but I've already built the other one. We're going to keep it because it looks neat. That's why we're doing it. That's probably going to piss off somebody with, like, issues. So, yeah, it's fine. And those are squares right there as well. That's the real funny part. We're still not going to use them because I am obstinate and I've already done this. So let's go ahead and get these going across. And we've got ourselves a massive line of red and purple coming this way. So, yeah, let's build up our 6 lines. I wish there was a faster way to move, but unfortunately, there is no run button. And yes, you do actually have to assemble in the direction that you're going if you actually want it to be, you know, semi-sane. And once you zoom out past a certain point, you do lose your selection there. So I need to be a little bit careful with it. That's 4, 5. This is going to be a massive line, geez. We are going to condense it down, though, so don't worry. It will be fine. So you are all going there. So that's our massive line for purple. Not exactly ideal, but it works. We have another massive line for white right there anyway, so it's not going to matter. Now, if we wanted to make it real convoluted, we'd have all these overlapping and going kind of crazy, but honestly, I don't really... Doing that makes it a little bit of a nightmare. You could actually condense things a lot, but I don't see the point in going super condensed on this. There doesn't seem to be any real advantage to it other than travel time, and honestly, once you have things up and running, it's just going to be the same steady flow whether it's compact or not. This just makes it easier to design and kind of move around and stuff. Like, we can tell that we have white being developed here because we got red, green, and blue, and it's all going into these functions right there. And you can tell you have white going here because you got red, green, and blue, and all of it going into those functions there. So you can tell what the function of something is just by looking at your map from here. So like these right there, I can tell from a distance that, hey, those are colorers because they're the 2 slot ones. There's a colorer there, there's a colorer there, and then there's some up here producing all that jazz, which we are producing way too much of that. But you don't have to like mess around with that too much. So you can actually see it kind of from a distance with these. Yeah, anyway. I am going to go for purple right here. Let's go ahead and do color combiners. Let's go with, yeah, there. So we're going to want these facing up, I think, because we want to merge them next to the white lines. So let's go with a little gap in between them just so we can have a little bit of sanity in production so I can actually see what's going on there. And we need 6 of them. So definitely need to there we go. And yes, I could condense that a lot. I'm not going to. So you go there. You go there. You go... Stop swirling, you bastard. You go there. There we go. So that's going to be those. We can go ahead and do... Jump across there, jump across there, and we don't need to jump across there, but we're going to need to jump across somewhere else. And I think, yeah, we're going to end up needing to make 2 rows of blue, so we're going to need to go down, and we're going to go like that. That way we have a skip point. Yeah, I'm doing this probably in the worst way possible. I get it. It's fine. No need to be ragey at me about it. I just enjoy this type of game. I find this kind of relaxing just to do. Even if I'm not that great at it, I find it relaxing to just kind of horse around and just play around with the different things that we can actually do in the game. So, and yes, I have actually made nonsense colors as well. You can make, I don't know if you can make obscene shapes, but you can make very odd shapes. So that one's going to go there. And then we just have the single jumps, all the single ladies. There you go. And that should be a good enough setup to start producing purple. And yes, I could spend days doing this if I wanted to. So yeah, don't get me going on just how much I could actually do with this. as far as just horsing around. And those go in. And yes, frick off. No, not you. You go that way. So, and yes, I know that I don't need to do the like weird angles on all these, but it's fine. So that goes there. This goes, and I did not intend to get that last one perfect. It just happens. It's a wonderful little accident. There we go. Because that little turn right there was not planned to be just right. So that's going to go in there, and we're going to now start producing purple. So if we come up here, you can see, yep, we're spitting out purple. So now we have purple and white. So we have the two main ingredients for our colors, and we have the main ingredients for our production further down the line. So we need white circles and purple squares to actually do all this. Nope, I don't want another marker. So let's see. These are right here. So we need to start setting up painters for each of them. I think we probably want... how many painters do we have going on here? That's not a painter. That's a combiner. Where's our painters? There's our painters. We need to have probably, I want to say, half as many of these as we have of lines coming in. So maybe something like... I said we could combine this white to that, and I don't think we're going to. We're not going to mix it in. We could actually combine lines like that. If we had a bunch of white circles, we could actually combine all of our white circle things into just one big massive line so that they could actually just share across each other and feed whatever's needing it at the time, instead of building separate machines. But I am building the separate machines because that's what I want to do. So we have these, and we're going to go with, let's see, we need purple squares, so those need to be facing down probably. Let's go with just 2 on each. And we'll go with 6 lines of these just because we can. I needed to actually do doubles on those, which is stupid of me. There we go, and flip that way. So that's going to be our squares. And we'll be able to come off of here. And let's go like this. Not like that. That's not what I intended there. And you get to come around that way. And that way. And yes, I could lead it off the left and just have it be just kind of a big mushroomy thingy, but we're going to go with this. And we are saturating the belts relatively quickly, so that's exactly what I want. So we're going to have 6 of those, and we're going to have 6 whites. So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Basically the same pattern, except this one's going to be facing up, which probably is going to piss somebody stop it, you son of a bitch. Thank you. I don't know why it likes doing that. It does fix itself. It unscrews itself, and sometimes it will actually break itself too. But yeah, there we go. We have those coming out to produce the circles and squares. So now we need to actually start combining them. Let's get these channeling along this way. We need white circles. So these, we're going to actually move up next to each other. Doesn't matter that it's further out. It's fine either way. It's just going to look awkward. So that one's going to go there. And yes, you can actually put these curves in front of the exits of those, and it just gives them a big red arrow, and they just can't throw onto it. It doesn't want to spit onto another line. So you could combine these right up next to it. I'll show that real quick just so you guys understand what I'm talking about. That can go there. No, you can go like, if I can get this rotated right, there we go. You can actually have it like that and make them a lot more condensed. Like so. If I can actually get the curve right. You have to rotate it to get the right curve, which is a pain in the ass. But that's what that would look like if we wanted it super condensed. I personally don't like that look very much, but it is what it is. So we now have our white line coming in with the circles there. We can start doing our painting. So we have 3 incoming of the color and 6 incoming of the shape, which means we're going to be oversaturated on the shape. So it is what it is. Maybe we'll get some extra throughput or something like that. Maybe our production will be fast enough to actually make up for it. I don't know. Let's go for... I'd rather be oversaturated on the color than on the shape, but it is what it is. Let's go for That's what happens whenever I'm doing this while commentating. I make stupid mistakes. It's okay. So we'll go, let's just go with 3. And we'll not even worry about those. We'll deal with them later. So these are going to start coming up and going into there. You actually need to put them into the shape slot, which is not too hard to do. The shape slot is going to be your octagonal, not your octagonal, your hexagonal shape. And your, there we go. Color input is going to be the actual color slot. So what we need to do is do, and we can start having our color coming in. Let's go up, and we'll end up with the top one going in just by itself without any nonsense. But the rest of these, we are going to have to go, there, no. There you go. No, stop breaking shit. Thank you. Yeah, that's the downside of the... Oh, not you. Downside of the WASD method is sometimes you overshoot and you completely bork your line. Like that. And that way. There you go. So now we have 2 of the whites in there. And they are already outputting it, so as soon as we put something down, it will actually just immediately spit out one. Well, probably spit out a few, because they have like a storage limit, it seems like. So you guys are going to just go away. We'll deal with you later. We'll probably up the output of this eventually, because that's going to make sense to me. You can see that they're still producing down there. You guys need to start coming into the south of blue. We'll produce too many purples. That one will be fine. So we're going to go with... That's going to at least give us a ability to show that, yay, we can't go over too many things. So you... Let's go with there, I think is a good starting spot. Yeah, that'll be a good starting spot. So you go there, 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 and there. That's 6. Yes. So this one's going to come into that. This one's going to come into... Not there. And no, you can't feed these into the wrong slot. It just won't do anything. At least I don't think it will. Actually, I haven't tried. I should try. So that's going to be our first wide gap. And this one is going to need to go that way. This one's going to need to go that way. And this one's going to need to go that way. That way we have a big enough gap to get our under rails through. So you are going to go there. We should be good. Maybe not, actually. Because I didn't leave a gap to get over this. We can just feed it around the top. I'm not worried about it looking super pretty right now. I am actually looking forward to this build being done because we're almost at an hour out, and I just noticed that. So yeah, I need to be on a little bit more of a hurry here. So that's that. We're having fun with this. So you get to go straight to the right and come down here, and we will go ahead and feed you under this one. Oh, I actually need to feed it further back. Yonk. There you go. That'll be far enough back. That way I can actually steer the other ones into place. Because I'm going to have one entering there, one entering there, one entering there, into that, one entering there. Actually, not there. One entering there into that. And then the other one we'll just feed it up around. Because that makes sense to me. So you get to come across. We'll leave a small gap on those for aesthetic purposes. Because that's going to be our breakout point anyway. Oh, fuck me. That was my fault. Me and my mouse controls. For some reason lately, I have just been absolutely atrocious at mouse controls. It's probably a bad thing. Probably just me getting old. So there's that. Number 3, it goes across. I'm not worrying about cleaning up those other ones because, well, we don't need to. They're going to get cleaned up as we start moving these across. So, and building ultra compact in this, not super necessary. It's nice from like an aesthetic point of view or from possibly navigating near your base. But for the most part, I find it not super necessary in your designs to actually have them be super compact. It doesn't speed anything up really. And now let's go ahead. And I can't get across here. I wouldn't even be able to get across if it was 6, so I'm going to go ahead and go up and go around, and we are going to just feed it the cheese way into that. There. Oh, no. What? Why did you disconnect, you son of a bucket? There you go. This will just immediately feed in there, and you can see that those actually did properly connect through there, because you don't need belt in between them to actually have them connect. And that. And there is another update coming sometime soon. I just don't know what it's going to be as far as like the stuff in it. I just enjoy building these monstrosities of horrible, horrible weirdness. So now we have all of our colors. Let's go ahead and show our work. You can see we have the white circles. We have the purple squares. Oh, no. Thank you. I didn't mean to click up further. So we have all of our purple squares, we have all of our white circles, so now we just need to condense them down and start feeding them into our home base, which we're going to take up this slot right here for. So what we want to do is we want to come in here and get our layerer. And if I remember correctly, it's right goes underneath left, but I could be wrong. No, right goes on top of left, so we need the circles on the right. And we need the purple on the left, which is just going to make this more complicated. Damn it. So we could, let's actually have them facing down. We're going to have 3 in on the whites. So let's just go ahead and start with 3 and just do them that way. And yes, I did just delete one because they weren't spaced equally. So you guys are going to condense down to 1 because I'll just use 3 of these for now. We'll extend it out to the right whenever we actually have more. So the right goes on top of the left. Yes. So the purple needs to be going into this one. Not that one. Stop swirling to the side, damn it. There we go. And this one needs to go there. And this one needs to go not like that. Wow. Like I said, my mouse control right now is just like that of very special. So that's going to go there. And we probably should have tied them up a little bit tighter, but I think we'll be fine. So we're going to make a little bit of a gap here because I'm going to probably be playing this off screen or possibly on like a chill stream. And just continually improving these. So that's going to come out there. And it won't reach. Yeah, I need to condense these. So you guys are going to get deleted. Deleted? Yeah, probably. So you're going to go up 1 and over. Just so we have room to actually get these in there. You're on that one. You are on this one. There we go. So now we can actually cross that. Do-do-do. And do-do-do. There we go. And these will actually feed down into... I'm about to just not bother with those. Fixing those, but it's going to drive me nuts if I don't. So you go ahead and doot and doot. There we go. Now we can actually start feeding those in and we can start producing our shapes. So that's going to go to there. That's going to go to there. And this one's going to go to there. Okay. So that goes away. That'll auto-fix itself. And this one should auto-connect. There we go. And why are they not going through this one? Oh, because I have those backwards. Durr. I do that a lot. I'm sorry. That's one of those things that I do with those. And because it's not... I mean, it's obvious which one it is. I mean, you can see the arrows pointing which way it's going. But it doesn't register in my brain. So that's going to be the right shape. Yes. And then we have this. And we should be able to just go... bloop, 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 over to hit this and that and do a 3 to 1 because they're going to be relatively slow. So we just do doot and doot and doot, and that'll actually even it out a little bit, and we'll just start moving to the right. Yeah, that's pretty much all we have going in there. So this can just fly on over here, and we'll just meet up to the side of this one, and you'll notice that this one does not produce nearly as fast as that blue and white one. That's because the blue and white one is a much bigger production scale. You can see this one's just every now and then it'll just pop one out. And these will just keep popping out. These will back up. This will back up. So, yeah. We should produce a second set of whites, which won't be hard to do. All I have to do is pretty much just copy this and make it up here and just have them feed into it, which isn't too terribly difficult. Obviously, we can't get the green out of there, but we have another green right there. Blue we have right there, so we could just feed the red across, or we could actually just make some more right here and just make another set of white to feed across to that. So we don't end up with this situation of not quite keeping up with the demand of the blues. Because you can see our white production is actually up there. It's the transforming it into circles that's actually choked up. Because all of our color down here is perfectly fine. So we could actually do that with this. I don't know. I don't want to spend it on to 6 because we are already at that 1 hour mark. So I'm going to go ahead and let this upgrade real quick. And, well, not real quick. I'm going to make my second one off screen. And then we'll be back for a conclusion on this and my thoughts. Okay, we are back, and that's because we're actually really close to hitting that 12K on that. I've expanded the production a little bit. I went ahead and like brought those other 3 to bear, so we actually have all those producing. And this is what happens when you level up. You've unlocked a new variant of the tunnel. Now it's bigger range, and you can also mix and match those tunnels now. So we could actually do, oh, tunnels under tunnels. Okay, I actually like that. That means that a lot of these constructions would be a lot easier. Oh, and now we actually need that thing. One thing I've been putting off making because it's not going to be terribly difficult. All we have to do is get yellow circles, which should be relatively easy. We got red and green right there. We can make yellow and we can pull the circles from there. That'll make that. And we could actually get the stars from this, just bleed off of this. We could actually grab off of these lines, which are like oversaturated, and pull them down here and make some red off of this as well. So that would actually be a really easy one to make. I'm not sure whether I want to make it that close to the base or not, but yeah, my next thing on this would be, since I've already established a lot of these like massive production things, we have our purple and whites and we have our blue and whites. I would probably start deleting the stuff here near the base and just set up for just the things I need for upgrades, because it doesn't appear these are changing. It's just they're being added onto for now. I wager at higher tiers this does change, but for now, that's what we're looking at. So if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I may do some like streams of this, some just chill streams with some background music or something like that, like I did with Townscaper. But until then, keep gaming, have fun, peace out. This has been Alzorath. Bye.